400 billion. Joining us now to discuss the crypto markets and more is Market Gauge Managing Director Michelle Schneider in New Mexico. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, good morning to you all.
Good morning to you. Okay, so would love to get your comments on ETH's, record rally happening right now.
Well, the good news is that we actually have been long ETHE, so we're very happy about that. Probably always, as anyone would say at this point, not enough of it because I didn't anticipate that we would see Ethereum up this high. But the flippening, as you say, is real. The options interest is real. And there are some reasons for it. The blockchain technology involved with Ethereum, of course, is extremely attractive. And then the whole DeFi thing, which I love these acronyms that keep coming out with, for example, the DeFi, like DeFi, the decentralized finance, the whole idea of the younger generation not wanting to have any government intervention in the currency, number one, and the technology, number two, and just the whole suspicion of government manipulation. I think it's an interesting theme that is emerging out of less than what would be traditional conspiracy theory. So I think it's amazing. And unfortunately, Bitcoin, we had bought some coin, actually, that was the new release from a few weeks ago at around 300, and it's dipping here along with the Bitcoin itself. But Bitcoin is at a very interesting technical spot. It's sitting really right on its 50-day moving average at around this 56,000 level. So we'll see what happens.
And Michelle, the S&P Dow Jones crypto indices are going to be launched soon. How do you think that they will perform? They're going to have a Bitcoin as well as an Ether and a mega cap combo of the two.
Well, the hope, of course, is that what it does is it brings in more interest from different investors, and that the sorry about the dog, and that the legitimacy of it and bringing in the older generations to trade it because now they feel that it is done through a normal stock market channel is probably going to be a positive, at least initially. So that's what we're kind of hoping for, and we're looking forward to it. The more instruments you have, the better. For the last several months, we've been trading Bitcoin up until Coin came out through Riot and MicroStrategy and PayPal. So it'll be good to have something more direct.
How have you been investing in ETH?
Through ETHE, which is the over-the-counter grayscale instrument that you can trade. It's not necessarily as, it's kind of like the way GBTC is related to Bitcoin. There's a bit of a distinction there, but for the people who do not want to be actually buying the coin itself or buying the Ethereum itself, it's actually worked out pretty well. It's trading up at around 33.50 coming into this morning.
So, good morning, Michelle. How high do you think ETH can go? I don't know if you are comfortable giving that kind of price prediction, but I think that's the question everybody's asking. Like over the short term, how high can this keep going?
Well, the younger members of our team are saying 5,000, which doesn't seem that far away at this point. And then I was actually reading on your website this morning that there are some predictions of 10,000, which is probably why you might see this little bit of a parabolic move right here before some selling comes into it. I thought it was going to get to 2,500. So there you go. We're already so past that. So I would look at here. I like round numbers. So if we can hold and get through this 3,500 level, then obviously 5,000 is not off the table.
Michelle, from the people you talk to, is there more talk about ETH compared to Bitcoin now? I know you have apparently a Doge fan in your office right now from that bar.
Yes, that's interesting that you would know that. Actually, it's funny you should say that because yes, he used to trade just exclusively cryptocurrency, and Dogecoin is something he bought and is watching it go up and up and up in complete amazement. And we haven't been able to trade it for our clients because other than buying the Dogecoin, there's no real other way. Like what I mentioned before with ETHE or GBTC or Riot or MicroStrategy. Yeah, so Dogecoin, I actually heard you say earlier that who knows why it's going up, but it is. So there you go.
Do you think in terms of, you just mentioned MicroStrategy and some of the other companies that had Bitcoin on their books. Do you think now with Coinbase public that the incentive to buy those kind of companies has gone down, that the premium people were paying to go long crypto indirectly through companies' balance sheets have gone down if they have a more direct way of doing so, such as through buying Coinbase?
Well, it's actually an interesting question, and I don't know if I necessarily thought about that relationship like that, because I was more in the camp of the more legitimacy, the more traditional way you can get into Bitcoin, the better it will be. But obviously we're seeing the reverse. In terms of the whole crypto space, the market cap in Bitcoin has dipped below 50%, while Ethereum has gone up to almost 17%. So yeah, I guess what's happening is exactly that, is that as things are going more into the traditional instruments, the actual Bitcoin itself is starting to flatten here. But I wouldn't get too negative on it at this point. The volatility has come in tremendously, and I think that's ultimately a good sign. So we're hoping to see some kind of support here at this 55, 56 level, and we'll see what happens from there.
Michelle, recently there was a huge commotion in the crypto world because Charlie Munger, I don't know if you saw his comments, but he basically called Bitcoin disgusting. And yeah, you're familiar. I'm curious what you think. Is he just hopelessly out of touch? Was there any truth to what he was saying? I mean, he was sort of complaining that, this is created out of thin air. It's relatively new. I'm just curious what your take is on this.
Well, we actually had a whole discussion about that conversation yesterday in the office, and our summation of it was two old men howling at the moon. Yes, I believe that they are very out of touch. Obviously, the comments that he made about it leading to crime, et cetera, everything that he mentioned that Bitcoin could lead to, actually, we've already seen with traditional currency, particularly the dollar. So I thought that the comments were bizarre and strange, and I wouldn't really hold too much credit into what they're saying. I mean, they're 97 years old, and God bless them, they've done extremely well. But they've done extremely well in, believe it or not, really, in the 50s and 60s. That's when Buffett made his most money, was with the real growth of the United States. And in the last 10 years or so, they've actually underperformed the market. So, it was shocking to hear. But like I said, I think it was just two old men howling at the moon. I think that's the best way to describe it.
So you mentioned a lot of good reasons why ETH is surging, but part of it is also just sort of number two after Bitcoin, and people are just kind of looking for the next big thing. In addition to Doge, of course. What do you think could follow ETH? Is there another coin that's on your radar, sort of when ETH gets too expensive and then people are looking for the next big thing?
I guess if I had to go with anything, it would probably be Ripple at this point, which I know is still trying to work out the situation with the SEC. But I know it's been getting a lot of buzz just from what I see in terms of comments from the younger generation that are looking to trade. So Ripple is what we have our eye on right now. We haven't done anything with it, but we're sort of keeping an eye on what happens here in terms of playing nice with the SEC and whether or not that gives it a boost.
All right, Michelle, thanks so much for joining us this morning and sharing your insights. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
That was Market Gauge Managing Director Michelle Schneider. Coming up, check